My name is Chris Stacy. I'm the Vice President of Commercial for Uplift, a buy now, pay later provider that works with the travel industry, a number of airlines. And I've got an esteemed panel with me today. Bo.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bo Schroeder. I am the Digital Optimization Manager at Alaska Airlines. And thanks to everyone who took an Alaska flight here.
Hi, I'm John Weber, Senior Manager of Airline Marketing with United Airlines. So we sit within the commercial organization and are involved in performance marketing and work with Uplift in our email marketing channel.
Hello, everyone. This is Alfonso Poncho. To everyone, thank you for the cheers. So I'm the VP of Global Customer Success at Evermundo, and we're very excited to have you here. We're very pleased to have our partners, Uplift, Alaska, United, and many more here. So yeah, thanks for joining. I know you're eating. Hopefully, while you get some churros here in the back, you can stay here in the chairs that are here and eat your dessert.
Thanks, Pancho. Hey, so one of the things that we wanted to talk about is we wanted to talk about payments, how they become the fifth P of marketing, right? So years ago, payments used to just be a cost of doing business, and now travel companies and airlines and merchants have started to figure out ways to be more innovative with payments. Uplift's a buy now, pay later provider, and Bo, I'll talk to you. How is your airline leveraging Uplift's buy now, pay later system, and what are you seeing in the results and what we're doing with you guys?
Yeah, we're trying to use Uplift in a really thoughtful way. So placing different merchandising on certain pages of the site where someone might be inclined to find a deal more than this isn't a message you would typically put in front of an elite frequent flyer. We're also doing things like working with Evermundo and Uplift for ideas. Like we'll take ideas from everywhere and talk about them and work with design and see what we can make together.
And John, from a United perspective, a lot of people would naturally assume Alaska and United are direct competitors, and they're not. They're much different companies. They serve much different segments. So from a leisure perspective, what are you finding, with, using payments, A, as marketing, and B, how are you utilizing the Uplift and Evermundo relationship?
Yeah, so like I said, my team focuses mainly on the email marketing channel, so we are utilizing Uplift in a lot of our route announcements, fare sales, and that front pricing is very attractive in a lot of those communications. All of those are driving directly to the air traffic's pages on Evermundo, which feature the pricing as well. So from a leisure perspective, it is very attractive when you can talk about a price point that is manageable for someone if they're booking a leisure trip.
Yeah. So do you see, when customers start to see things that are broken down on a monthly component rather than just as an overall price, are you seeing more ancillary sell-through, booking a better seat, booking more product, things of that nature?
Yeah, we're seeing definitely higher conversion rates and higher average order value for the bookings made with the Uplift versus the pay in full.
Yeah. So one of the things that Uplift has done, and Pancho, I'd like to talk to you about this as well. So we're a strong believer in moving up the purchase path in the booking funnel. What have you guys seen in terms of putting that price out in more places earlier on when the customer starts to see that and you're using it as a tool as opposed to just putting it on the payment page?
I think it's important to show that monthly price. And we all need to remember that flying is a privilege, and if it's an option for our guests to use. So if there is a reason they need to take a flight for an emergency or even a celebration, it is available.
And John?
Yeah, and I think it's definitely a valid alternative in the payment space. We obviously have close relationships with our co-brand card that can offer that, but this is definitely attractive to a certain part of the population that actually, are looking for this Uplift product.
So, Pancho, if you could comment. So the Uplift relationship that we formed with Evermundo and being able to display that to the customer, what have you seen as far as what your customers are doing and what they're driving?
So I think one of the key things to mention here is that before, like payment or from pricing was not even imaginable to do it at scale, right? And this is where the challenge for airlines and other companies, like how I communicate this to my end users at scale, right? And that's where I think both Uplift and Evermundo started to join effort and say, okay, how we can do that. So the beauty of all this is like our airline partners, they don't need to do any IT, or they don't need to invest in any efforts. There's already a seamless integration between Uplift scripts with Evermundo products. The way it works is very straightforward. The Uplift team creates a specific snippet of code. We add it to the pages and the products, and automatically the magic, it's on the front end, right? Of course, there's a lot behind, and I'm underestimating the effort that everyone puts to make this happen. But the beauty of all this is that now at scale for every single page, you can achieve this, right? And again, there's no effort. I know that everyone, it's very busy. There's sometimes these projects and things forever, but right now there's a seamless integration between Evermundo and Uplift, and literally in the hundreds of thousands of pages that we have with both Alaska United and any other partners, this is already by default presented to any user, right? So from the very initial purchase path of the whole customer journey, people are seeing, okay, I can afford this flight, right? There's an option for me to go from here and that. And also it's just very interesting for the additional branded first and premium products, right? So we can show this not only on the lowest, but now both airlines have the opportunity to showcase premium cabin and a more affordable price, and people is buying it. And I think that's the more important thing.
Pancho, for any of the airlines that maybe are running Uplift right now and not utilizing the Uplift integration with Evermundo, how long would it take them to be live?
So I think the overall from the initial requirement gathering to you guys giving us the script for us testing, I would say within a month we can be up and running. And as I said, it's if we are out there in a footprint of hundreds of thousands of touch points to the consumer, they'll all be at once, right? There's no need to do this on faces. There's no need to do this on. It's all integrated. So yeah, we have a process on that. Of course, things that happen within the process as everything, but we have done this already with more than 5 airlines, and others are on the works. So I think the benefit, it's both from a scalability, from a resource perspective, from the airlines trying to communicate this, and ultimately for the end user to see and attract that. And I think one of the key factors here is also driving that flight search initiation. So we're presenting this, as I said, in a very upper funnel and a mid funnel intent. So we're trying to drive into the booking, right? So they can see this from the very beginning, and I think that has been the most added value proposition of all this.
Yeah, Bo, I think there's a great example here of what Alaska's doing with the Evermundo and what they're presenting. Can you speak to this?
Yeah, this is a page template that we've designed with Evermundo's help. So yeah, it really is as easy as Pancho's mentioned. Getting this up and getting approvals done. I think it's also important to point out that these sort of pages are highly indexed by Google, so they're caught in that way. And yeah, when we integrated the monthly into this template, it really was that easy. We shared design files with Uplift, and we use the same design program, so it was as easy as like sharing a link, and then our designers already had kind of an access to that link, and we didn't have to, have huge files sent back and forth, and it made it really easy.
Without giving away industry secrets amongst all the airline partners that are here, what are you guys seeing in terms of conversion, in terms of average order value? And you can talk to percentages if it's easier, or, to help drive that higher AOV and the higher conversion. A lot of people ask me when I first talk to them, they ask me, oh, what's your conversion percentage, or what's the incremental income that we're going to make on an Uplift?
Everybody wants to know conversion.
Yeah, that's right. And
That's
the first thing I always go to is average order value, because across the board in all the verticals that Uplift services, we will often see a 30 to 40% increase in AOV. Can you speak to the AOV increases you guys are seeing?
We're seeing, we count it in the incremental category, and we're tracking it. Some of our newer placements, we're kind of collecting that information now, so we should have more to report out in a few months.
John?
I would say we're in that neighborhood that you mentioned. So
Okay. So, no. Pancho, I know it's important, when people are working with Evermundo, they have the same questions that they are asking me, the conversion and the AOV. What are you seeing, when we get this launch and get these programs with the close collaboration between the two companies?
Yeah, so one of the way that we can, Evermundo, at least see the influence of this is we measure what we call flight search initiation. So for those that remember that, every single user that comes to the website, to a page, and then they gets to the booking engine, right? Like they make the next step. That's what we're measuring. And there's, it's hard to say the true before after, because of course there are a lot of factors, but there's definitely an increase up to 20% in flight search initiation from the pages to that when you incentivize that the user, right? Like the whole point here is, yes, one, driving them to booking, and then of course that facilitates what you're saying, the average order value increase as soon as they get to the booking path, right? Because then there's a whole world of other products and ancillaries and other information that they can leverage with that. And because ultimately you're bundling the payment, right? Like here you see the pricing of the actual given route, but as you get to the actual booking, there's a bunch of other products that then can be also bundled into on the front pricing with Uplift, which a lot of the benefits of the increase in average order values that you guys are seeing as well.
John, Pancho and I have sat up here and told everybody how easy it is to implement, and how it's easy for me to say, it's easy for Pancho to say, but as a user, how has it been to implement the product and the seamless strategy?
yeah, I'll attest to the fact it's seamless from my team's perspective. It just happens, both from an uplift within the booking path perspective, as well as the integration with Evermundo and Uplift within the landing pages that we're directing people to through digital channels and email marketing. So it just is there.
Yeah, and consistency is the key. We have multiple purchase funnels that we work with Alaska on, and having a consistent presence, be it on a mobile app or on the web page, or and also utilizing the Evermundo experience. So what does Alaska see as kind of some of the next things to do with payments, and how to drive forward?
We have an innovation area that's kind of getting started up in e-commerce, and we are eager to see what they bring to the whole company, whether it's Apple Pay or PayPal or Pay, whatever the next pay is going to be. We're open to the ideas. Yeah, oh God.
John?
Yeah, from our perspective, and we might be a little late to the game, I don't know, but we've just recently implemented Fairwire in our email channel, so we're pulling in the live pricing from Evermundo within the email. I think the next step for us would to be integrating the front pricing in the same way. So,
Pancho and John, can you guys talk about Fairwire a little bit?
Sure, yeah. So I think with some of our partners, right, it's going back to that cohesiveness, right, and that communication, cohesion between the first touch points. So we work very closely. We have those APIs that you can place on email, on social media, on paid search, or any channel. So email, because it's a very powerful still channel for a lot of airlines, and you guys know more than I do, but it's still a very there's again a seamless integration as well, and the goal here is that the user see the pricing from the moment that they receive that email. It updates in real time, and then they get to the path where they can see it in the page. And then, of course, now with the beauty of the front pricing, that also can facilitate the journey. And the next part of our roadmap is to see how we can then bring that from pricing from the off-site, I guess, advertising. That's I guess the next phase of our partnership with Uplift, and we will figure out how to make that happen. So more to come later on that.
Yeah, no, that sounds fantastic. I do want to leave a few minutes for any questions. Is there anybody that has any questions for any of the panelists?
I actually have a question for you. That we always get that question. Like, what are the markets that Uplift right now supports, and what are the markets that you guys are planning to do? Because that's the first question that we always get from our customers.
Well, so currently right now, Uplift operates in the U.S. and Canada. We do loans in both jurisdictions. We do have some announcements coming very quickly. I would say within the next month or so. We're not at liberty to say yet, but it will be very exciting for all of our partners that are here in a way that we can, help them grow their buy now, pay later.
And just to add that, for those customers that we have international point of sales, such as Alaska United and many others, the beauty as well of the integration is that it would only show on those point of sales, right? This is something that we can very easily target and segment. And if it's right now, to your point, it's US and Canada. So only the airlines that have those point of sales where they lever Uplift, we can also segment that content on the page without, again, any additional work, right? So as Uplift rolls out other point of sales, then we will be able to continue showcasing
and
this
that's key. So when we do make the announcement for the other jurisdictions that we're rolling into, that will be within one integration that's already done with Uplift, and because Uplift and Everymundo have the relationship and the integration already done, all of that comes along for the ride and that technology. So, it really, really will help digital marketers, be able to, leverage the power of both and drive the AOV. Any closing questions?
I guess I'll just encourage to any of our customers that are here or soon-to-be customers, feel free to reach out to any of us. We can talk about like how the integration is, and especially those, as I said, that not necessarily have a domestic heavy US or Canada domestic. There's value in it, especially if you're somehow advertising in this market, especially because these markets are very used to the front pricing, right? Maybe in other international not so much, but in these markets people are used to it. So I will strongly encourage to consider it, because we are seeing great results from the integration and also the performance. So feel free to reach out to any questions. We'll be around, and more than happy to help everyone.
It'd be great. And I'd like to thank you, Pancho, John, and Bo, for your time. So go enjoy some lunch.